Welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Bums podcast. It's your host, Rob, aka B-Ball Archives. And once again, I got the bums in the house. AJ and Clam. It's a beautiful day. Happy holidays. Christmas is right around the corner. We got Spurs basketball to talk about. We also got Texas Tech football, Texas Tech basketball.
Yep.
A lot of awesome sports stuff to dive into. But, it's the holidays. I'm happy to see you guys. How you guys been?
Dude, fantastic. First of all, Cam, thank you so much for joining us today. Also, we're live. I can physically touch you.
Yes.
We're not on the computer or anything like that. I can actually
my God. We're not dating like Gen Z children.
Yeah, no, we are
up close and personal.
We are face to face.
Nice.
So
I've hit my one episode quota for the year.
Yeah.
Right.
2 for 2, 24, 25.
Right. I was about to say,
I snuck it in.
to officially be a bum, all you need to do is just have one a year.
It's just one.
There you go. And,
hey, one time.
Yeah, one time. But guys, we got a lot of really awesome Spurs stuff to dive into. We're on a 6-game win streak. Obviously,
Wild.
we don't count that bullshit loss to the New York Knicks in the NBA Cup final because
It didn't count.
Yeah, I was gonna say if the win-loss column ain't seeing it, then neither am I.
It's also the happiest loss I think I've experienced in a long time. It sucked the way we kind of lost that run there, but at the same time, that's a really good team. And
Yeah.
To do what we did that entire Cup final and come in and do that, I'm like, okay,
And-
I'm not bummed about that,
Dude,
at all.
And also, the best part about that situation is San Antonio can finally have feelings again about the Spurs. I told my uncle yesterday, he was like, oh, we should have lost to the Knicks, and da-da-da. I'm like, aren't you happy you're mad?
Feelings.
Aren't you happy you're...
I remember y'all talking about it at one point last season, and I do not remember what it was in the season, but it was a conversation around hey, we can actually be upset again. There was such a numb feeling for so long where you couldn't really have feelings one way or another because it was almost like survival mode. It was just put your head down and keep moving forward.
Right.
I can't even be sad about this because then I'm going to have to be calling a suicide hotline. It's so far removed that I just got to
And
disconnect.
if I'm not mistaken, this is our longest winning streak since 2018, 2019.
Right, since March 2019.
With DeMar DeRozan on the squad.
Right. We have not won 6 games in a row in almost 6 years.
You know what that tells me? It's the Fiesta uniforms.
Right. It has to be.
Uniforms are so.
It has to be the Fiesta uniforms.
It has to
I was
be.
showing her a clip of Stephon Castle, that steal he had the other night. Went back for the putback. She's like, I really like those uniforms. I do too.
Yeah, we have some nice swag. That's
Absolutely. And our play is reflecting how nice our jerseys look. We're, getting a lot of really good wins against teams we should beat, but we're also really competitive against some of the better teams in the NBA. And we've won 9 games when we're playing teams 500 or above. So we're performing against some of the better teams in the NBA.
And that's way better than the Rockets. If I'm not mistaken, the Rockets are 0-6 against the top tier NBA or Western Conference teams. Something to that effect. Maybe they won a game or two since that stat came out. But also, we're looking at
That makes me very happy.
December 22nd. December 22nd, we are second in the West.
We are.
And we have a chance to potentially get 2 games behind OKC by the end of the year.
And that's just for me personally, and once again, maybe it's just I curbed my expectations so hard. This is why I did it. But it's so far ahead of expectations for me for this season to where it's alarming. I'm honestly sitting here kind of in a daze. The other saying the things you're saying, and I'm like, this feels kind of like a dream state.
Sure.
The numbers you're throwing out, I'm just I just didn't. I didn't see it this season. I didn't see it at this point in the season.
Dude, you want to talk about numbers? Let's talk about numbers. Luke Cornett looked like prime Dwight Howard last night.
He did.
Dropped 20, and it was not oh, he got 20 points. It was on oops, it was on putbacks, it was on just good feeds. He was just living in the paint, just like '09 Dwight Howard. He looked awesome out there. And then it's oh yeah, by the way, his backup is Victor Wembanyama.
Which is just talking about just a weird juxtaposition, upside down almost, if you will. Is it's you have Victor coming off the bench, which is obviously temporary, but it's hilarious.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's working in a middle school and working with middle schoolers. We've been there, they're dumb. They're very dumb. And a kid literally last week to me. I was in the science class and he was just like, Luke Cornett, he's terrible. We got to get him out of here. And I was like, I need you to understand, like, that's the most invalid opinion I've heard.
Shut up, kid.
In the last year. No, I did. I was like, listen, you don't know what you're talking about, and I don't hold you responsible for that. But Luke Cornett has been everything and way more than I thought he was going to be. I remember just like the projection of the thought of like, wow, that's a really good fit. Like that could be a really good supporting role. Like we just like stop the bleed when Victor's off the court. That was like kind of the original thought. Yep. I was like, okay, at least now we're just not going to bleed us. And then he comes out and just like, oh, no. Like, I'm going to turn it up a notch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take it to the next.
He's way more of a connective piece on offense than we gave him credit for. And you saw so much of that last night with his finishing down low.
Yeah.
He had 6 offensive rebounds. He and Keldon both had 6 offensive rebounds. And when you look at the fact that we got about 10, 11 more shots than they did, that's the difference right there. Right. They get those rebounds, they put in the effort, we get an additional opportunity, and then all of a sudden, that's the difference in the game right there. And so much of that was just his willingness to just, put in some physicality, put his body into, a lot of other people. And, Tristan Vucevic for the Wizards, I got to give him some credit. He was actually,
they wanted to win that game last night.
They did.
They wanted to win that game last night.
Absolutely.
And we were like, no.
Right. Well, we were up 20 at half.
Right.
And that was impressive, and that's what you want to see. But the Wizards were able to cut it to 9, and that, to me, was an example of us just not putting our foot on the throat when we needed to. And just even the fact that the Wizards thought they had a chance to come back and win that game bothers me, because it should have been way out of reach mid-third quarter.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree, but also you're dealing with a really unique situation right now with the Spurs because Wemby is still on like a minutes restriction, and so he only played 21 last night. So like, how long are we going to do this with Wemby? Because it just reminds me of like his first year, and I'm like, dude, like we cannot. And I get what we're doing, but like, come on, man, like we'll play Wemby a little more, just a little more.
Here's my thing, and I could be completely off of this, so correct me or fill in where you need to, but. I'm really wondering because I saw a graphic on Instagram the other night, and it was talking about how many games Wemby's played, and it was also more importantly talking about how many games he's already missed, and then it was talking about being eligible for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And then I started wondering, okay, are we being extra careful in making sure he's logging games to keep him? I know we don't think about those things long term, but I'm like, as far as and less about the decoy and more about just the keeping him available, especially when it's working.
Yeah,
especially when we can actually like continue to produce and win games, and we have this crazy chemistry going on right now. Like even when Homer, best player in the NBA is not on the court, we're still able to get it done. It's like, okay, well, since it is that, and we know he's our guy, and he is what holds everything together. If we can keep him off and we can keep him restricted, we can keep winning. Like I do wonder how long they're going to push, but I also do like it in the sense of like. It keeps him eligible for those things. And I know he's not about the accolades, and that's why we love him. And there's so many things. I was talking to Rob about it earlier. I'm like, it is like God literally sent Wemby to the Spurs because of like him already saying things like willing to take a pay cut on his next contract to make sure everything fits.
Which
but
is
like
crazy for him to say. Because that dude's going to make $500 million, and he's like, I'm good with 4. And you're like, okay.
Sure.
We'll go get 2 really top tier role players for that chunk that you're willing to forego.
We're gonna take that weird red statue down there in the middle of the street, and we're gonna turn it into a Wemby statue. If he takes that cut, I'm just saying that's what we can do with the extra money. But it's just really cool to see. But I do wonder, like I said, I know he doesn't care about those things, but it does keep him eligible for those things that he does deserve. And like as far as legacy, even whether he's concerned about it or not, for us as Spurs fans and NBA fans, like things that he deserves, like it keeps him kind of in that race.
Sure, but isn't like it's 65 games and you have to pay like a 20 minutes. You can only miss like 2 under 20 minutes or something like that.
So there's a minutes restriction too.
Absolutely.
There's a little caveat.
Which he has been playing at least 20 minutes pretty much.
He didn't play 20 minutes, I think, 2 games ago.
So that still counts towards that.
Well, all of his games previously, he was logging mid-30s, low 30s. So even if he does that towards the end of the season, it'll still put his average well above that.
Yeah, it's an average. It's not like this game less than 20
Yeah, yeah. It's just overall.
He'll be fine. But I mean, like,
we got a deep playoff run coming up this year. So
what's crazy is like one of the biggest things that everyone talked about is like Spurs have too many guards. Trade De'Aaron Fox, and then like De'Aaron Fox had 27 points last night. Like,
right,
and then you're like, oh,
and that noise is even pretty recent.
Yeah,
like,
it's insane. And
like, wait a second,
in 2025, like you can't have enough guards, and we talked about it so many times. Like, dude, give these people a chance. Let's figure out the rotation. Like, once we see kind of what we have, then let's see how we can pick plug and play. But I mean, Fox is playing great. Harper's playing great. Castle's playing great. Like, they're all able to play together on the floor at the same time. And, like, that's what you want to see.
And it does come back to that greatest part of being a Spurs fan, which is having 100% unequivocal trust in the front office. Knowing that every decision they make is the correct decision. And being able to just sit back and be like, okay, like, this looks weird, but, like, they've never really steered the ship wrong. Like, even when things were not looking great and we went through the dark ages, we knew there was a point to it and a reason. I mean, we're living it right now. We have, I mean, God, Wemby, Harper, Castle, like, just having all on the same team.
Gone
like,
are the days of Zach Collins.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and to further y'all's point, like, you need that amount of depth to fight this Western Conference gauntlet.
Yeah.
And even when we look at last night, Dylan Harper went 0 for 8. So this is a night where you had one of your young budding superstar players not show up at all.
Right.
So you needed that performance from De'Aaron Fox. You needed the 27, 7, and 6 because you had one of the guys that kind of fell off a cliff. Same thing before that. Steph Castle went, I think, 4 for 16 the night before. And, you know, it just really goes to show that our three-headed monster guard attack really does need each one of those pillars in order to stand up on its own for right now.
Right, and then you have them all go off, and you can beat the Thunder.
Yes,
like and then that happens.
Yeah,
and so kind of like, you know, segue into like the next two games they're obviously against the Thunder. Was a home and home, I want to say, and so I'm excited to see how we play in those two games, and I guarantee you, this next game, I'm kind of chalking up as a loss on the 23rd, because I feel the Thunder are going to come out just like super pissed off, super on fire. Alex Caruso had to be pulled into College Game Day because Johnny Manziel got too fucked up. So, like, you know,
Alex Caruso is an absolute
He's
dog.
fine. He's fine.
He's a dog.
He's fine.
I don't like him because he's a Thunder, but I want to take a second to, like, remove the homer hat.
But you like him because he's an Aggie.
Hell no. That's what I'm saying. There's a double negative in effect. He's a Thunder and he's an Aggie. For me, that is a 2 no-go situation. But even with that being said, like, you strip it aside, I'm like, my litmus test is always like, okay, if I put a Spurs jersey on him, would I like him?
Of
that
course.
answer is yes.
Yeah, right. Of course. If you put Bruce Bowen in any other jersey, I hate him.
Oh my God.
I would literally
He'd be
put
my
that
most
person.
player.
Yeah. Wally Zerbiak hates Bruce Bowen.
Bruce Leroy. Yeah. No. But yeah. No. So it is crazy though. But yeah. No. I agree. And for me, I was wondering. I'm like, especially where they are in the NBA model, and then being the reigning champs. Like, is there a chance they come out in this game a little more? Not going for the throat, saving it for Christmas. But
I think they want that loss back. Okay. I think they really want that loss back because
they don't care if it's a 23rd or the 25th. They're like,
they walked out of that game pissed off because Wemby just abused them. He abused Alex Caruso. It was awesome.
Well,
Alex Caruso was
like,
wait,
what foul? That's what, like, that was my thing. Well, and like on that, like, I don't want to get off track too much. I'll let you go back to it, but like, I didn't get home from practice until by the time I got home from practice, did dinner, got the kids bathed and all that. I got to watch like third quarter on, and the amount of no calls on Stephon Castle coupled with the amount of ticky-tack bullshit fouls on him was just like mind-numbing. It was killing me. And that's why we got to the end and like there was a couple times where I'm like, yeah, it felt kind of floppy. Like we had to force the issue. Like we were playing through so many calls.
Yeah.
And like, especially with Castle, but same thing with Wemby, we were going so strong to the hoop that we were just playing through the foul, and like we were allowing the refs off the hook, and finally we were like, okay, shit, like you're not going to call this. We really got to sell this.
Yes.
But Wemby had that one where it's like I thought it was kind of floppy, and then he had a giant red mark across his head the rest of the game. Like it just wasn't. that floppy.
Oh yeah, and there was a couple of plays where he even nailed mid-range shots while still getting swiped by Caruso, and so just be consistent with those foul calls.
Yes.
And we talked about it on a previous episode. It's like just be consistent. You're calling a tough game. You're calling it ticky tack. That's fine. Just make sure both halves feel the same.
And I hope it doesn't get as extreme because I got to the point where I didn't like him anyways. But I got to the point where I despised Harden for how many. Like it was just gross how many fouls he did call. But I feel like Castle is in the next couple of years he's going to fit into that role. Like he'll get the respect. Like refs always get to a point where there's certain players that give him the benefit of the doubt. And as hard as he goes to the rim, like he's gonna get to a point where he's gonna draw a lot of fouls.
The only thing I'm not excited for is to watch the Thunder play basketball. I do not like their brand. I'm not a huge fan of the way that they play. And I mean, I know that there's a narrative of like, SGA is a foul baiter and all that stuff. But then you watch the game. I think it was the Timberwolves or someone they played. He tried to do that lean in and like do the contact. The defender pulled the chair, and like he went flying, and he still called the foul. Like that's not fun to watch. And they do that shit on Christmas Day. Like I'm gonna be bah humbug.
I just don't like looking at Chet Holmgren's face. Like
that's fair.
Straight up. Like I'm sorry. I'm
not gonna disagree with that.
Well, you got to enjoy the Wemby Chet rivalry that's brewing when you just look at the fact that Wemby clearly enjoys when Chet has some sort of little failure within the game. It's like it brings him joy.
When he missed that free throw and he was like, yeah!
I loved it. That's the kind of petty shit that I would do. So I enjoyed seeing Wemby.
Chet is Wemby's bitch.
I was saying, it almost feels more like a little bro situation that has a rivalry where it's like, it's really cute that you think that I'm competing with you and I'm not.
It's like, Chet, you're competing for the third best player on your team.
Yeah.
Wemby's competing for like GOAT status.
Yeah.
He's competing to sit at the table with like MJ and Bron and all these other crazy.
You're not
legends.
even like you're not even in that neighborhood, much less not.
Right.
What we're really going to need for the next two games against the Thunder is we're going to need Harrison Barnes to step up. We're going to need Dylan Harper to step up, and we're going to need guys that just come in and just do their job, like a Cornet coming in, maybe having 8-10 points, something to that effect. So as long as we have those pieces and all that stuff, and granted, it's 2 games in an 82-game season, but also I think this sets us up for, okay, can the Spurs compete in a tough gauntlet of the West and make a deep playoff run? And I think that's kind of the big question mark right now. It's like, all right, we have our team. Can we make this into a deep playoff run team? And you see us in the, conference finals against someone.
Yeah. What's nice is that this is the first environment where it will feel like playoffs because we're playing them twice within a 3-day stretch.
Yeah.
And there is that animosity coming from a previous loss so soon. And I'm kind of in agreement with you. I think that, our game on the 23rd probably is going to lean towards OKC. I could see them coming out with a big fire in their chest, wanting that get back game against us. But then I think that opens the floodgates for a really great battle on Christmas Day where we have a little bit of that fire coming into the game. So do they. And we see an all-out battle.
Real quick, and if we want to kick this can down the podcast, we can. But talking about players coming in and playing a role and fitting in. On that subject, can we talk about the elephant in the room that is Jeremy Sohan for a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, I said it at the beginning of the season. I said I do not know where he fits in.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean it as in like,
no.
Oh, he's a bad player.
He's a super talented.
I didn't see him fitting in the rotation that we currently have. The way that we're so guard heavy and we rotate,
and of course the minutes of 100%.
Right, and we rotate 2 centers and maybe Kelly Olynyk, but like I didn't see a role for him. And now the rumors are that we're trying to trade him, of course, because he's an expiring contract. If we can get something for him, even if it's a 2nd round pick in 2032, who gives a shit? Like at this point, like he needs to go play for a team that will give him minutes and he'll get on the court.
I did feel like earlier in not even earlier in the season, preseason, it was like, okay, maybe we get him on the court enough that where he shows value and we can get something for him. And now where we are, I'm like, I don't even.
No,
That's
it's like
not even worth it. Like
we're past that, and
Yeah.
it's so clear when we run 3 different double big lineups last game.
Yeah.
We ran Wemby with Cornette, we ran Cornette with Olynyk,
Yeah.
and then we ran Wemby and Olynyk together. And it's like all of those seemed to have better chemistry than Sohan being out there,
Yeah.
because Cornette is a good connective piece on offense with his rebounding, his playmaking.
Yeah.
Same thing with Olynyk. He can have games where he can put up 6-7 assists.
And he can stretch the floor too.
Absolutely. He's a good corner 3-point shooter, free throw line extended. And so it's, everyone else just fits around Wemby so much better than Sohan does. And it's process of elimination. He just doesn't fit our tight time.
And sometimes that happens. Like you look back on all the Spurs great teams, like we all had our favorites that just didn't work out. And it is what it is. And like I hope he finds a place somewhere. And if not, dude, he's from London or England and he's Polish. He can go play in Eurobasket and dominate.
Right.
Yeah.
Have him be the first pick of the Manchester United Red Devils for the NBA Europe.
He's good enough to be in the NBA. He can guard multiple positions. He is an NBA player.
And that's the one thing that I hate, like Spurs and basketball aside, just like looking at I just think about we treated him like a science experiment for so long, trying to fit him here and fit him there, and not because we were trying to get the best out of him, because we were trying to figure out our identity. And he was there in all those years where we just really were like, okay, well, we're not playing house money, but we're not playing for much right now. Let's figure some things out.
Yeah.
And I feel like it didn't necessarily stun his development, but I feel like he played a part in the dirty part of building a team.
Yeah.
And it's I feel bad in a sense, because I'm now we are where we are, and we definitely don't have a spot for you. I completely agree. I don't see a single possibility or scenario where he fits in. But also too, now you're at a point where we haven't shown any of your value that you could have to another team. So hopefully somebody understands that value.
Well,
but
it's you got to get in where you fit in, because you could look at Jeremy as somebody that we ran at point guard. It didn't work out. We kind of ran him at center and different positions that maybe just had him uncomfortable. But what about Keldon Johnson?
Right.
There was 3 years ago, he was our leading scorer, and we were running the offense through him. He was scoring over 20 points a game on volume.
Yeah.
And now he's not volume at all. He's a very much a system player, crashing the basket with limited opportunities, and yet he's
taking full advantage of those opportunities.
Yes.
And what's really telling, especially in these last 3 games, did Jeremy play these last 3? I think he played against the Wizards at home.
Yeah.
But I don't think he played against the Hawks, and he didn't play against the Wizards. So those 3 games were you should see the floor against a lesser opponent. You're not seeing the floor. And I think that just goes to show you
no, that speaks volumes.
There's just nothing out there. And it sucks for the most part. It sucks, but also I was never a big Jeremy Sohan fan. But also I was still looking at it I know he can guard 1 through 5. But I want to see it still.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just haven't seen it. And whenever he does guard 1 through 5, I'm looking at the back of his jersey. I need you to see more. Yeah. And when you have a guy like Steph Castle that can guard, 1 through 4 essentially, or you have a Dylan Harper who could shut down one of your top point guard in the league. Right. That's when you're going, okay, well, do we really need?
And you have other guys waiting in the wings who we haven't even gotten a full tap on yet. I know preseason, we were Carter Bryant was looking excellent in some things, and it's now it's there's depth to the depth that we feel strongly about. There's literally no place for Jeremy.
I would love to get, if we were going to trade Jeremy Sohan, I would absolutely love to get someone who can just sit at the 3-point line and just hit 3-pointers. I don't give a shit who it is.
It's Steph,
Easy.
1-for-1 trade. No picks, no extra money.
We just
a prisoner exchange.
If we I think the piece that we're missing the most is just a 40% 3-point shooter that's just knocked down. You kick it out, it's automatic. The ball goes up. You're more shocked that it doesn't go in, and when it doesn't go in. that's the kind of guy we need. I've seen a lot of people talk about Trey Murphy. I think the price for Trey Murphy is way higher than just a Jeremy Sohan.
Yes.
So like, so we need someone that's like not that expensive, but still like a really good shooter. And I don't know really who's out there
Like
right
Jeremy
now.
Sohan needs some like HEB stock, maybe.
Well, you brought up like Tari Eason, like a guy like
Yeah, Tari.
that. Like,
Well, because he's a free agent next year,
right.
and so like that guy, like for me, like that's a dude that you can put into like a Jeremy Sohan role, and all of a sudden like we're talking ships.
Yeah, well, because he's big enough, athletic enough to do what Jeremy does defensively for the most part, while simultaneously being a more consistent shooter and definitely catch and shooter.
Yeah.
And so it's exactly what you'd want. I agree.
And Houston sucks.
Well, I think Houston is a good
Forever.
team. I just think that they're getting put into categories.
Oh, I
they
meant the
don't
city.
belong.
I meant the city.
Oh, the city's trash. The city's trash, but they're just getting put into conversations where they don't need to be right now
Right.
because they don't have a point guard. They don't have somebody to create their offense consistently.
and they haven't addressed it. Like Van Vliet went out before the season started,
right.
and you're like, you didn't address that like immediately.
He was the only person that did what he did on that team.
The only reason they were good last year was because of him.
But once again, like that gets back into the depth of like front office like roles and responsibilities, and like it's not just about the five that's on the court. It's not about the next five that are on the bench. It's like having all of those like potential situations. If Wemby's hurt and he's off the court for however many games,
Yeah.
what is our game plan? Because if not, like, what are we gonna do? And it's like you get to a thing like that where it's like, all right, cool, like y'all slap together a great starting five, but it's like clearly you had no plan for like what's gonna happen if one of these guys goes down.
What do we think of Houston? Shit. What do we think of shit? Houston. Thank you.
Yeah,
Pretty
That's
much.
all right.
Pretty much. That's just they just don't have any business being labeled in that same tier as Thunder and the Nuggets and those kind of teams. Us, it's like, well, I think that we are a more complete team than them.
Yeah.
I just think that they have some really dynamic athletic options that makes them attractive, but we have the depth.
Yeah.
We have the more complete team.
So my question is, since Wemby didn't get to dress up for Halloween, do you think
I've already thought about this.
he dresses up as like Will Ferrell and Elf for Christmas Day, or just coming as
I
Santa?
prefer like a Jack Skellington.
Oh, dude, Jack Skellington or just like a big ass Grinch.
That would be
Ooh.
great too. Yeah, that'd be great too.
I would love
Like
that.
6 hours
But I'm
in makeup.
Right. Jack Skellington is just his Slender Man costume plus a skeleton mask. Boom, you're done. Recycle.
Something would be really satisfying about seeing him in some pretty realistic Grinch makeup, though.
That'd be
great.
nuts.
That would be
That'd be terrifying.
that.
He's
That
like
would be
8'9".
yeah.
I would
Seriously.
love to see Wemby like show up in like a Will Ferrell outfit, like with a little hat and everything. Like
That would be no. I'm picturing that. I'm like that would be absolutely
just like this giant
awesome.
elf.
I'm picturing that scene in Elf where Will Ferrell is having trouble showering.
Yeah.
It's so like imagine Wemby like doing that, like it's an extra foot.
Dude, I bet you
Him
he does
sitting on
it.
the bench is like him
I
sitting at
bet
the
you
desk.
he
right?
does that
Right.
all the time. I would guarantee you like 9 times out of 10, if they're going on a road trip, he's doing that like splash.
Oh,
for
dude,
sure.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Like I don't want to get on that tangent, but yeah, God, travel for Wemby.
Pain in the ass. Dude.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to have special
They just like
seats
go
on
to the
flights.
local,
Yeah,
they go to the local
Yeah, he's-
zoo and finally
yeah.
they wash the giraffes.
No, he's
Go.
definitely sitting exit row only. That's
Okay.
for sure.
Absolutely. But since we are kind of talking some holiday stuff, I want to just segue into some really good do you remember this Christmas moment from San Antonio Spurs history? From our senior year of high school, one of the more memorable Spurs moments, Roger Mason
Yes.
versus the Suns.
Suns. Yes.
Hit that
3-point, the corner three. Corner
three to put us up by 3, get us a really delicious Christmas Day
So
dub.
whenever I say we need a 3-point, I want a Roger Mason. I want Brent Forbes, even though I hate his defense. Like that kind of piece on this
Well,
team.
shit, somebody call Rogers, see what he's doing. Not that old, is he?
Yeah, we said this happened in 2008.
Nickelback was on the Billboard Top 100 this time that Roger Mason was struck.
They've never left.
I I sarcastically.
Dude, that was a great because that was like peak rivalry with the Suns,
Right.
and
That was like right after Mike D'Antoni.
Yep.
Like the 7-second offense. Right after Nash had back-to-back number one offenses in the NBA.
Was that? No, that was like 2 years after Robert Horry checked Steve Nash into the thing too.
Yeah, because that was 06.
05.
Or I guess 05, 06, yeah.
Yeah, because that was when we beat the Suns and made it to the finals because Murray came out and stepped on the court and they were like suspended.
But absolutely, and this
Illegal.
moment was coined "Merry Christmas, San Antonio." So
Nice.
I love that.
Wow.
But also, even more recently, Wemby last year.
Yeah, Wemby last year, dude. That was
Even though we
much fun to
lost,
watch.
Even though we lost
It
against
was
the Knicks, still anytime you put up 42 and 18 on Christmas, that's fucking crazy.
Also, the way
That's a
he
gift.
did it too.
Yes.
Like the first half, he was like 3 dunk. Like he was. It's one of those welcome to the Wemby era, essentially.
Yes.
Is what I looked at it as, and I think these games are so important. Like, and I do feel like Christmas Day is like an NBA day. So early dunk to the NFL for trying to steal Christmas Day from the NBA.
Yes.
Like you get Thanksgiving, you get all those other. Shut up.
I know.
You get all those.
This is where the waters start getting muddy.
You
for
get
me.
all. You get all
fuck
those.
the NFL for
you get
trying
all
to steal
those.
this.
You get all those other days, and Christmas Day was always meant for
It's
the
sacred.
NBA.
It's sacred.
You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
You're right. We're right.
So why are you even arguing?
Because
Yeah.
I have to
Stop right there.
I have to uptuck every day for the next 4 days. 'Cause, like, I just have to think about, like, oh my God, like on Christmas, like, am I just gonna ignore my family and get to watch basketball and football all day, or am I gonna have to like choose? But I'm like, I have the actual possibility of like all day football, football, all day. Like I love that. I do, however, like I said, for me, I am like when it comes to like fandom, like if I have to truly lean like out, especially for me, like outside of the Spurs. For me, when it comes to the Spurs, I'm 100% all in. Everybody else can kind of just kick rocks, but NFL, I love football. So for me, even with that being said, Christmas Day is sacred to the NBA. It has always been an NBA thing, but I also feel like the NBA has done this to themselves because I feel like this year has been a really good year of NBA, but I have heard both of you talk about for the last multiple years that the NBA model has been suffering and that the way they do viewership outside of Christmas is the one day that everybody comes together, but it's like I feel like they have left that door open, and I feel like people should be more mad at the NBA than they are at the NFL.
Well, I view the NFL as more so.
It is.
I view this more as
Americano.
I view this more as an NFL scramble than an NBA sort of not capitalizing, because I think it was the NFL saying, "Oh, this is a day where people are kind of sitting down watching sports.
Yeah.
We need them watching our sport." So it was more like already seeing a professional organization have success on a day and then going
and it wasn't until probably about like 10 years ago or so when like the NFL started to have these games on Christmas Day and stuff, because like I remember growing up, like it was always basketball.
Does it go back that long?
It was always basketball growing up, and the only reason I know it's about 10 years is because I won a fantasy football championship, I think on Christmas Day or Christmas evening, and I have a picture of myself holding up like a champagne bucket as a trophy with the Kawhi Leonard jersey on, and I haven't worn that jersey in like 10 years.
That doesn't
So
that's not a timestamp.
So that's how I know that.
I mean, at least 8 years.
Yeah. Well, also like it was. Remember that commercial, that Vegas commercial, where those guys are like celebrating like they won a championship, and they're like, "Oh yeah, championship!" And then at the end of the commercial, they put the vase back like outside the room and like put flowers in it. They're like, that's where I got it from, and so and it looked like a real trophy too. So
that makes sense.
Well, and not consistently, but I was just curious because I was thinking it was way sooner than this. I was like, when was the first Christmas game for the NFL? It was 1971. They have not consistently done that since the 70s.
Yeah,
but no.
And if Christmas lands on a Sunday, I'll give you that.
It's always felt like, especially, I mean, for a lot of us, it's like they're for the crossover NFL and NBA fans. It's always kind of like a divorced parents switching holidays thing. Like, okay, dad gets Thanksgiving, mom gets Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, we keep it kind of separated. So it is kind of one of those things where it's like it has become so consistent. Because like last year, I loved it. Like the Ravens played on Christmas. I'm sorry, I don't give a shit what anybody says. If I get to watch the Ravens play football on Christmas, like I'm stoked.
They win that game?
Yes,
Should win
we're gonna say. That.
I
They
can't hear you.
No, they played the Texans. I'm pretty sure. Was that last year or the year before that?
Sorry.
Let's
Going.
move on, please.
Keep going.
There's lots I want to talk about, especially last night. But no. I get it. But it's also too. It's like you do start getting into that. Like they're not really. What's the time slates for the NBA games on Christmas?
Literally 11
They're
until
all day.
9.
It's
Yeah.
all it's 100% a day.
It starts in
NFL,
New York. and
NFL
goes-
is noon and 7.
Right. And so like so they're basically on TV for a little under 7 hours.
And those games are 3 hours easy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's
So
about
like,
7 hours total broadcast
Yeah,
time. So like
no,
you
for sure.
you know what you're doing.
No. Well, and it's also hard too
Yeah.
because like I don't remember when the schedule expanded, but it's like now with that and where it comes in with playoffs and all of that, it's like you could just as easily make a truce and be like Christmas Eve or Box Day
Well, see,
the day after.
they could do that, but
Yeah.
the NFL
No, that's
wants
what
to-
and that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like that's the proof that it is a direct. Like it's not a matter of
Yeah.
hey, this is a really great market holiday. Like we should be playing games on this day. Like we can make this work. It is definitely more of a hey.
Also, Boxing Day is for EPL.
Boxing Day is just for Brits. Period.
Yeah, EPL is Boxing Day.
Well, I think the NBA should launch a counterattack back at Thanksgiving and say, you know what, all day games Thanksgiving.
I would like to see the numbers on those because I still think the NFL would win out. That's just
Oh,
such
for
a
sure. No, the
lame-
NFL
Absolutely.
absolutely.
But the point is,
No,
the
no,
NFL
no.
numbers would be shorter and
No,
would be
no, no.
smaller than they naturally
Right.
would.
Yeah. Hey, multiple screens now. Okay, watch your NFL game. Watch your NBA game on your phone on Thanksgiving. NFL on TV on Christmas. Watch your NFL game on your phone. Watch your NBA game on TV. Plus, and I will
You shove
say,
your phone up your ass if you have the NFL game on Christmas. That's what you can do with your phone.
but and I can't. And once again, for me, like my viewership of the NBA starts and ends with the Spurs. So like, I cannot speak to how the season is going. Like for example, and I guess what I'm pairing off of is for me for NFL, I'm consuming everything. I can't afford it.
Right.
But I buy Sunday ticket because like I love
think
football and the way this season has been, the
Yeah.
parity of this season, this NFL season has been absolutely incredible. Like every week it is just back and forth, and there are teams like there has been nobody like this is the latest this either ever or in a very long time. This is the latest it's taken for a team to clinch a playoff spot. Like finally, this last week was the first time of the season that somebody clinched a spot. So it has been very back and forth competitive football. But like, how has the NBA been so far this season? It's been a really good year.
Yeah.
You would say like competitively. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
for us,
I
I know
mean,
it's awesome.
Well, that's the beauty of basketball is like there's enough games to where it's always
you're
the
always
case.
gonna have back and forth. You got
Yeah.
2 games, so you're
But-
you're never gonna have a team that's like, oh shit, they just won 30 more games
Right.
than they were supposed to. It's like
except
it's
for fucking Thunder.
it's
right now.
never.
Jesus
Well, no,
Christ.
we saw that coming. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone
no,
saw it
but
coming. It's-
still, like, oh my.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, with the NBA on Christmas Day, because it always starts with the Knicks, and the Knicks always kick it off. And growing up, you're like, how come the Spurs aren't playing on Christmas Day? And then obviously, like, we just don't accept those games, or we probably talk to the NBA. It's like, hey, like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We'll give you one every 3 years. But now that we have Wemby on our team,
No,
and
we've
it's
pushed ourselves back into
it's
it.
always the marquee, like it's always the showcase of your stars on Christmas Day.
Right.
And I'm just glad that we're finally in those conversations.
Yeah.
We have a guy that is absolutely a worldwide sensation.
Yep.
And the more I think about us playing on Christmas Day, the more excited I get because
Oh, yeah.
Wemby gets so up for those games.
Absolutely. I
think
do
we all.
I do have a quick
I think
question.
we all get up for those games. If I'm being fair.
I do have a quick question for you guys. Since you just brought up a good point, we don't regularly play on Christmas. When's the last time we got a win on Christmas Day?
A win on Christmas Day. Oof. It wasn't last year, and it wasn't the year before.
I'm not even gonna pretend like I know. I don't know.
Well, like you said, we don't play on
I'm
Christmas.
gonna. Were we wearing sleeves on our jerseys that day?
Honestly, I can't remember.
Was it? I want to say
God, those were terrible.
whatever the last year Tony was on our team. 2016.
Bingo.
Yeah, let's go.
2016.
Let's go.
That was impressive.
It was 2016.
You Sherlocked your way all the way up to that answer. That was impressive.
We defeated the Chicago Bulls 119-100 on our last Christmas Day victory. Spurs are 5-7 on Christmas Day, and it's not necessarily what you want to be on Christmas Day, but I can see why we don't necessarily love to play on Christmas. We don't have a lot of success.
Yeah, a lot of those games that we played were like with Tim, Tony, and Manu, and those guys want to go home with their kids. Like they don't want to be out there on Christmas Day or travel back or whatever. They're not into that.
I feel like the Spurs as an organization too are just not going to go put out more effort for a Christmas game than they would any other game. So wherever they're falling in their tempo, like they're there for win, great. If not, if it's a loss, like whatever. Like they're not like I don't know. Especially compared to where we are now.
Yeah, they're showing up ready to work, lunch pail in hand, Christmas Day.
Yeah. Do you get paid overtime or double on Christmas if you're in the NBA, or do you just get paid a lot?
You get time and a half for holiday.
Do they?
I think they already get paid overtime and double just to exist.
Right. I think their payment isn't an issue, so to speak.
Right.
Well, since we're obviously the Christmas Day they start in New York City, which is where the Knicks play, which is Madison Square Garden,
Madison Square Garden.
which the Texas Tech Red Raiders just beat the Duke Blue Devils in a amazing college basketball game in December.
Oh yeah.
And it was a huge win for Texas Tech basketball because I watched this team and I'm like, we can't rebound and we don't defend very well. And it was frustrating to watch because we were losing that entire game. Duke was up like 19 points.
Yes.
And 19 was
and then we started coming back, and we ended up winning that game by 1 point. And I'm going to say this on the record. I believe that it is a turning point in the season for this squad. Because, one, it's a huge win. We beat an undefeated Duke team.
Yes.
It's a quad one win. When we all hear about quads and all that other shit, it come March. So I think it's a huge win, and it gives momentum, and it gives your guys an opportunity to go, hey, we can compete with the top of the top,
right?
But also, we still have a lot of shit to work on, and the Big 12 is such a gauntlet that if we just finish 500, we'll be fine.
And for me, it just shows, program period, talking Texas Tech athletics right now. No matter how much money has been injected and people can get pissy about it and cry all they want to, both those programs, football and basketball, both boiled down to grit. Yeah. Both those coaches are so invested in the concept of I don't care what we have, we are going to outwork you. Yeah. And to see that team actually bite down and do that is really impressive. And for me, it's just once again, you talk about tournament time, that's now everything's on the table. I know it's one game, but you're down 19 to Duke and you come
with
back
the Boozer Bros.
Right. Yeah, that is not an easy team to stave off that kind of lead and to come back and win.
Yeah.
And
in Madison Square Garden.
Right. And that was a night where we got out rebounded very handily.
Was in foul trouble early too.
Toppin was in foul trouble a lot. There was we needed some big Christian Anderson shots. There was a lot to like about that game, but also a lot to be frustrated about because I can easily see us getting out-physicaled, outsized by a lot of these teams that have, 6'11", 7 foot in the starting lineup. JT Toppin really struggles to rebound. And, and RC, when he was on the podcast, we were talking about it too. His free throw shooting.
Yeah.
He's shooting sub 50%.
That's insane. That's insane.
If you're a star player that exists around the basket as much as he does and you get fouled with that amount of regularity, dude,
it's between the ears.
Yeah, you got to be 70% because you're getting fouled so damn much.
Yeah.
But honestly, Christian Anderson he should be, I'm going to say he should be a lottery pick because he can stretch the floor. He's a little undersized, but the fact that he's been playing against grown men in the European country, what they call it, FIBA?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played exceptional for Germany, and he's playing against these grown men. He's playing well. I think he had 27, I want to say, against Duke, if I'm not mistaken. 24, 27, something like that.
It was a good game.
But he's just that guy. And what I love about Tech basketball is Grant McCaslam will chew your ass out and then hug you at the end of the game and say, hey, I know I yell at you,
Yeah.
but I do it because I want you to succeed.
And in reverse to what you're saying, I was going to say the same thing on McCaslin is like he has that press conference, talks about like how proud he is of them. He goes in that locker room and it's like, hey, great win. Guess what? We got a lot of shit we need to work on and a lot of shit we need to fix. And once again, that's the essence of that team. It's the essence of the entire program right now, the entire athletic department, which is like, hey, cool, like we did it. Guess what? Like back to work.
But dude,
we have more to do.
That whenever he gets mad at his players during timeouts, he's like, hey.
I love it.
No, and I love it.
That reminds me a lot of Coach McCone.
Sure.
Where like, I mean, Coach Leach or other coaches, like they would have a more, less like literally in your face style. But like if you did something that pissed Coach McCone off, he was in your face being like, why'd you do that? Like what was like, run that by me real quick. And so sometimes you need that layer of just like, holy shit, I'm being held accountable right now.
Sometimes you gotta just like snap a player out of it. And it's like you're not doing it, and this is where it's like
Coach Cam, break that down for us real quick.
Coach Cam corner.
No, but and like I said, like not to take it back to middle school, but like humans are humans and athletes are athletes, and like as they get up, it's the same thing in middle school as in high school, as in college, as in pros. It's like it's sometimes like you have a kid like you have to keep them feeling sorry for themselves, and some people react to it different than others. Right. But when a coach gets in your face and it's like they're yelling at you like that, like you have a kid who will look at it one side and be like, wow, the coach is really mean, he's getting mad at me, and then you have the other half, which is the dogs, the kids who truly understand it, and the ones that are going to always competitively rise, which is like, hey, coach is yelling at me because he knows I'm better than this, and he knows that he can get more out of me, and he expects more out of me. It's that recognition of like kind of that like that proverbial slap in the face, like, oh, like I got to snap out of this. And you look at a game where you're down 19 to not only one of the best teams in the country, but like one of the best Duke teams we've seen in a long time.
Right.
And like, coach get in your face and be like, hey, like we can do this. Because if not, he takes his foot off the gas and he's just talking X's and O's and he's not bringing that emotional aspect into sport, which like that's why we love sports.
Especially
emotion
college.
Is such a big part of it, and especially college. Absolutely. Like you have that's the only way you're going to snap players out of something like that.
And those Booster twins are probably going to be lottery picks.
Yes.
They are. They are.
They'll probably go 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So
Cameron Boozer is ready to contribute to an NBA team right now.
Yeah.
Like, is he ready to be a superstar in the league? No, of course not.
Contributor.
But he can go out there and give you decent buckets in a rotation position for sure.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to just see Texas Tech perform against a top tier team because the game against Illinois it was frustrating when we played Purdue.
That was trash.
But you
blown out by 30.
We got blown out by 30, but it was also we were playing against the number one point guard in the nation in Brendan Smith, who's like honestly his on ball creation is ridiculous.
And it's hard when you have a guy like that, like he's just like unfortunately, and I feel like in basketball because of sometimes the isolationism and like you can have those like one-on-one matchups like you're just going to expose an entire team to your biggest weakness and they can it's going to be a giant swing like that. It's not going to be a beat you by 2, beat you by 5. It's like you respect your ass. Like
you're also playing in the ballroom of the Atlantis. Like you're not even playing in a real gym.
Right.
So like
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
just like, really badass.
Like the you watch like you see like they're showing it on TV and you're like that's a ballroom. Like they just brought in bleachers like 4 or 5 rows up. Like
ballroom basketball.
There might be like 100 people at this game right now. Like that's how crazy it was.
Crazy.
It's
like being a Post Malone concert.
Texas Tech is turning things around, and I was starting to worry a little bit at certain points throughout the season. Are we going to fall out of being ranked? But looks like we're holding on to that ranked position for a bit longer.
We'll hold on to it. And like I said, the Big 12 is a gauntlet. So if we just go 500, we'll have enough wins against really good teams. We'll have some losses against good teams. So I think all in all, like we just got to make it to the tournament and then see what happens. But if we make it to the Sweet 16, I think that's house money. I think we're happy that we did that because I don't see this team doing like what they did last year.
No.
I think if they win 1 game, I'll be happy. If they win 2, I'll be ecstatic in the tournament. So we'll see kind of where it all falls.
It'd be one of those, and like you can't call it a Cinderella, but when you look at like what we think this team is capable of, like for example, purely hypothetical, they do go all the way. Comparatively speaking, what we thought they could do, like that would be like a Cinderella-like finish, where it's like, okay, we are not Cinderellas. Like we are one of the main dancers in this ball. But wow, like I didn't see that coming. Like
Yeah.
Kind of one of those things.
But you know who's not going to have any issues, and that's our football team.
All right, so we're going to shift gears here a little bit. But when we shift gears, should we switch seats?
Probably.
All right, so we're going to switch seats when I snap my fingers. And 1, 2, 3.
You know what, Rob? I don't like this spot. This is weird.
Yeah, I'm not feeling
It's
it
not
over here
not my
either.
The
favorite.
feng shui's a little
Yeah,
off.
no, pass.
All right.
All right, let's change it up one more time. Let's do it.
Okay, okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, well,
We snapped AJ outside.
yeah, we kind of miscalculated on that one. I didn't realize our snapping abilities could actually transpire outside. Okay, one more time. You know what? Let's just kind of set this back to where it was.
Yeah, let's just reset. All
Okay,
right.
let's bring AJ back in.
All right.
All right.
1, 2, 3. All right. This feels much
better. We
Yeah.
should have just stuck with it.
Yeah, just sometimes first thought, best thought.
Yeah, more times than not.
Worth a shot.
Yeah. But let's just dive on into Tech football. I mean, Texas Tech football right now, we got the bye week in the CFP, but we're facing Oregon. When you see this Texas Tech versus Oregon matchup, what are you guys seeing?
I mean, for me, immediately it's going to come down to what our bread and butter has been all year, which is just our defensive supremacy.
Yeah.
And you just look at across the ball, and it's funny. So I was going to bring this up when we were talking about Tech Duke, but I was like, I'll just bring it up. We're talking about football. I missed the comeback of the Tech game because the JMU Oregon game was also running at the same time, and it was already out of hand. But I was just very curious. I wanted to see. I've watched enough Oregon football this year because it's kind of sucks because for me it's football team outside of Tech, college team I've always enjoyed watching, unfortunately, is Oregon.
Yeah, uniforms are dope.
Their uniforms are dope. They have always been super creative on offense. Their defensive schemes are also they're very hard to guess. They're very good at showing you a front before snap and then moving out of it back into coverage. So it's I was very interested to see how is this going to play out. But for me, it still comes down to our edge pressure, which has made I love Jacob Rodriguez. He's absolutely incredible. He deserves every flower that he has received. But a big part of his success at linebacker has been the edge pressure from Romello
Bailey.
Height and David Bailey.
Yeah.
It's just constant.
Hunter in the middle.
Exactly. And Lee Hunter. Oh my God. That guy is going to be special.
Oh yeah, and then AJ Holmes, who was supposed to be our backup.
Yeah.
Just also first team Big 12.
And you have guys like Bryce Pollock too, at corner, who is just an absolute stud.
Well,
and he's just
what did you call him?
Pollock. Yeah. Sorry, Jeremy Sohan. My bad. I know that's not a great term.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, and then too, and it's you come back to you have players like Ben Roberts too, another phenomenal linebacker who once again, I almost hated he did it the game that he did it because he kind of took some shine away from Rodriguez. But it is just you never know where it's coming from. The pressure is so immense.
Right.
It's going to come down to how we can convert offensively against Oregon, and so I'm really excited to see that matchup. But for us, I think Oregon's most dangerous weapon is their offensive pace, and I really believe that we are going to be able to negate that. It's going to be what we can do and convert on offense after that.
100%, and also
I definitely expect to defer at the beginning of the game.
And one guy you didn't mention is Cole Wisniewski.
Yes.
Who's an absolute stud at safety.
Yes.
And so we have all these weapons, and watching the JMU matchup with Oregon, I wanted to see okay, what can JMU do and what can't they do?
Right.
And then put that into perspective of all right, if we copy this and paste it here, or we move this, whatever, all right. So one of the plays that I can recall is they got to the edge a lot.
Yes.
Oregon did.
Yes.
You can't do that against Tech.
No.
You cannot get to the edge against Tech. No. And then also JMU, even though they didn't score a lot of points in the first half, they moved the ball.
They moved the ball very consistently, and we talked about this pre-show, which is, and this is going to be one thing that this is my biggest point of concern for us, is that Oregon is very good at making you feel comfortable. And you have a JMU offense who, regardless of strength of schedule, is top 5 producing offense in the country. And they came out, and it was especially after watching the embarrassment that was the Tulane game earlier in the day, it was okay, JMU is actually making something of this game. They looked very good on offense. It was very much, it was a shootout as far as possession. It was Oregon gets the ball, pretty much the same as Ole Miss did against Tulane earlier in the day. They get the ball, minute and a half, they're scoring. So it was okay, they got to staunch the bleeding somewhere. But offensive creativity is the only way to get past the Oregon defense. And that is the one thing that concerns me is we have played largely throughout the year not having to be very creative on offense. We've been able to kind of stick to our bread and butter, and like a run game has been able to be stout. Oregon's run defense, very good. And so,
but Knight ran all over them though.
he did.
Like that's I look at.
He is also when you look at the individual players of that team though, cream of the crop.
Oh yeah,
the guy
well, he's going P4 next year
He
for sure.
100% is. So, and you're 100% right. And it's like once again, Cameron Dickey, awesome, love him. He's been great for us, and once again, he's physical enough to where like I think he's still going to be a factor, but it's going to be what are we going to do. Like, how many different looks are we going to have? What are we going to do? And, like, I fully trust Joey McGuire. Like, I can't say enough good things about Joey McGuire and just how well he knows and understands the game of football.
Yep.
And, like, all of the levels that he has been successful at, all the positions that he's coached. I mean, you're talking about a guy that went from a defensive line coach to an outside linebackers coach to a tight ends coach, head coach at Cedar Hill for almost 13 years.
Yeah.
I think it was 03 to 2016.
Yeah.
Roughly something like that before he made the transition to college. Like, he fully understands the game of football regardless of whatever level
and he loves it too.
And he loves it. And he loves his players. And like he says it over and over again. And it's like that Friday Night Lights, sometimes a little cliche, but it's so true. He talks about like our greatest strength is like how much these players love each other. But damn it, it's just so true. And they're so much fun to watch. And so for us, style-wise, that is going to be a hell of a football game. I am so excited. Like for me, when I was looking at like where we could potentially end up seeding wise and who we could potentially end up playing in our first game, and when I saw that it was most likely going to be Oregon, I was like, that is not only a really exciting football game, but for me, that's our true first chance for an introduction to the national stage. Okay, y'all can say whatever you want to about our strength of schedule and the teams we've played up to this point. But, like, that's going to be the game. We come in and we take care of business, and especially we take care of business handily.
Yeah.
That's going to put everybody on their heads for the rest of the college football play.
And here's something no one's talking about, and it drives me insane. Oregon hasn't played or gotten a win on a top 15 team.
No.
So, like, they played Indiana, and they got beat.
Yeah.
They played Iowa, and they won by 2. And, like, our defense is very similar to Indiana, and our defense is better than Iowa's.
We have a player that has more turnovers than
by himself,
almost any other team in college football.
And so,
and we have the number one rush defense in the nation. No one can bring a stout run defense like we can.
And then on top of that, if you really wanted to, like, really get into, like, the depth and, like, all the stuff that we can throw out of Oregon, it's like, oh, and by the way, we have a Ferrari in the garage, which is as a Micah Hudson. So like and so like that's so like for me I just look at this Oregon
team.
We
have the weapons,
and as good as Oregon is, and as a great a coach as Daniel Lanning is, he also I'm pretty sure he lost his coordinators, which is which is the thing. We extended ours. We have everything that we have in front of us.
Yep.
Also, they're gonna have to travel 3,200 miles to Miami, and that's like
you cannot underestimate the importance of, and it's once again, and like especially at the high school and the college level, like you're playing with kids. Like, yes, legally these are adults you're talking about. Yeah, maybe I should find a better word. Sorry,
cut.
but what I mean is like you do not have true consummate professionals yet. So when you talk about traveling 300 miles. You're talking about playing on New Year's Day. It's New Year's Eve the night before. Like, I'm not saying these kids are going to go out and party. Like, these kids are there to handle business. I'm not concerned with that. But there's a lot of things happening outside of the sidelines that it's hard to factor in. And once again, those same things do apply to us.
Yeah.
I do feel like overall we've been able to handle business no matter where we travel. But it's something worth noting. It's definitely a factor.
Do you have a prediction, Rob?
I do. I think Texas Tech is going to win by a couple touchdowns. I see something maybe like 42-28. I think that this Oregon team can still create some good offense through the air against us. I think that we're just too stout of a run defense for them to have a lot of success, but I do see them scoring multiple touchdowns. For some reason, I mean, if it was 35-21, something like that. I could see it happening, but I see us winning by two scores.
Yeah. So I think the game is going to be very similar to the Kansas State game. Whereas I think it's going to be close until like middle of the third quarter, fourth quarter. Because what the Oregon, that game against JMU, what it told me was their ones are awesome. They have awesome ones.
Yeah.
Their twos and their threes.
Yeah.
That's when you go, oh, this is where they're vulnerable. Because if JMU is going to put 509 yards on you,
any point in the game you're allowing them to put up that much offense,
and that means like either it's a focus thing or it's a talent thing. Either way, it's bad.
Right.
And the way that Tech is able to take teams into the deep water, especially during that Kansas State game when like the doors were blown off in the fourth quarter. Like, I look at that game, and I think that's our game plan for Oregon. Obviously, there's going to be more, like, there's more nuance to that than just what I said. But at the end of the day, I see this game being, like, 38-17, and Tech just – I think it'll be close. I think it'll be, like, 24-17 going into the fourth quarter, and then Tech blows out the doors in the fourth.
And it's almost hard for me to make predictions, first of all, just – being such a homer and just being so excited for Texas Tech to be in the position they are after like dark ages of just like not being of.
Yeah, we talked about that with RC bad,
and it is, and it's just like
I got reminded about TCU,
dude,
82 points.
No, right? Like there's been some truly like redacted from the record. Like I don't want to see it. Like
it's like Epstein files.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right. Black out the whole page.
Basically, Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, thank God we were smashed for most of his tenure.
Yes.
I just don't remember much of it.
Yeah, tell me.
But for me, it is going to be. It's hard to predict because it's going to come down to like we are going to have to score off of explosive plays, and what I mean by that is historically over this season, our red zone offense struggles, and as you condense that Oregon defense to the goal line, there's less things they have to worry about, and especially with interior play that they have, it worries me.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things where it's like we really are going to have to convert on 25 plus, 30 plus touchdowns to really. Especially to extend the lead.
Yeah,
I feel like if we cannot successfully do that, you're gonna have ugly scores. You're gonna have like a 35-31 or something where like field goals are really going to.
So is that your prediction? You're 35-31.
35-31 is hopefully my floor. It is kind of like for me. I'm like if we cannot come out and contain. I don't think we necessarily allow them to score that much, but it's one of those situations too where if we go into halftime. And honestly, with a lot of the really good teams we played this year, once again, we talk about like, quick aside, BYU is a weird situation for us where it's like, I almost hate calling them rivals because I really respect them as a team. And I really thought.
And a community.
And so I do kind of hope it's a vindication for BYU. Like their head coach was talking about after the Big 12 championship, like, hey, like y'all are about to find out, like, this is the best team in the country. Like you're going to see it. And for me, it's one of those like, do we play this game like we have been, where it's like we go into halftime and it's like, God, like this is close, and then we come out and those second half adjustments are key and they're everything, or is it gonna be one of those things where we pull ahead early and then all of a sudden in the second half Oregon comes back and they start clawing and make it close? So for me, hopefully, when I say 35-31, that's kind of in the hopes of it. It's like we are offensively clicking, we are shutting them down, and then as the game starts getting towards its close, Oregon starts clawing back and starts getting within range, but. I almost feel like a bad homer saying 35-31, but 35-31 is to me something.
What's frustrating is Notre Dame had to take their ball and go home, and I really wanted to see BYU play a Notre Dame or a UT or someone to that effect because I do think that the Big 12 is completely overlooked. Like I think the Big 12 is getting a lot of shit and they shouldn't because we have several teams that went 9-3. We have BYU who went 10-2, the two losses or 11-2, the two losses against us, and even the Houston team they went 9-3. Arizona went 9-3. Yeah. Like and then what people also forget is the players that we went and got like the Romello Hyatt, the David Bailey, they played in the Pac-12. They played against Oregon a few years ago. Like. And so I look at that and I go, how can people say that this team isn't ready to compete against an Oregon? And it drives me insane. And honestly, like the CFP as a whole right now is just a shit show. And I don't care what anyone says. You have to reward the teams that win their conference.
Yes.
Like you have to. Like you can't. This is my biggest pet peeve, and this is kind of my dunk too. Is if you're James Madison, if you're a Tulane, if you're an insert team here, regardless of what they did during the year, you have to reward them because they have to play for something. You can't just go play in the Cheez-It Bowl, have a great day. No, they won their conference. They went 11-1. They went 12-0. Whatever the case may be. And if you don't reward them, then what the fuck are they playing for?
Yeah. Right. What more did you want them to achieve?
Right. And so and granted, whatever the score was, they earned that spot.
Right.
And the answer is not more games. The answer is not more games. Because if you add more games, now you're having these college kids play 16, 18, 19 games, and then you want them to go play in the NFL and do the same thing. By the time they're 26, they're cooked.
Yeah, they're going to have 2-year careers and then wonder why there's no longevity in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, and they're like, whoa, tough it out. And it's like, no, dude, this guy can't fucking walk.
Right.
Like, I don't know what more you want them to do.
Right.
So, like, the answer is not more games. If you really want to think about it, either take away non-conferences and make it just conference games, or we just reshuffle the whole thing altogether. But at the end of the day, no matter what we do, teams are going to be pissed. If we move it to 24 teams, 25 and 26 are going to be pissed.
It's hard because you have to have, every level of football, you have to have non-conference play. And once again, that's a strategic part of how you set yourself up, too, for, like, how do we show our strength of schedule? How do we show what we're capable against? There's other things that play into it later in the road, but also, too, just from a competitive standpoint, like, and this is the hard thing, too, is because, like, in high school football, where the non-conference play really does not affect your district standings, for example. You have teams where, like, a shout-out to Larry Hill and the Smith Valley Rangers for winning back-to-back state titles. Larry Hill has always been very big on there's one non-conference game, either game 1 or game 2, where, like, a game is scheduled, like, for his kids to get punched in the mouth.
Right.
Like, to see how they answer. And this year, that was Brennan. And Brennan was rolling. And it was still a really good game.
Yeah.
But, like, that sets you up as the season progresses for, like, hey, like, you get hit in the mouth early. And, like, you figure it out. Like, that's a big deal. And you have that to play off of the rest of the year. Also, just from looks. Like, when it comes back to those games of consequence, whether it's the state playoffs at high school or whether you're like college football playoffs. Like,
you honestly, that's very common to do that in a wide variety of sports. Even at UMHB, that's what we did. We started off the year playing Stephen F. Austin and Sam Houston. We went and played D1 schools because it was like, hey, we're not trying to compete with these D3 schools. We want to go out there and be legitimate with these D1 schools.
Yes.
And, we went out there and, each one of those games was single digits, and it made the D3 opponents feel like a cakewalk.
And what people also forget too is Tech had some marquee matchups on the schedule.
Yeah.
And then the Big Ten decided to call up Oregon and say, hey, why don't you come join our conference? And that game that we didn't get back, we never got to play Oregon again. Right. So, like, you take that away, and then
which makes this
every time I see a report of Texas Tech and Texas A&M are looking to play each other, A&M takes their ball and go home. They're like, no, we don't want to play you. We're going to play Samford University instead. Yep. And so, like, people, like, there's always a different side, and people forget those conversations, and it drives me insane because all it is a bunch of UT ball lickers who are like, whoa, they should have been in. And it's like, bitch, you lost to Florida. Yeah. Like, you won 3, you lost 3 games.
Yeah, you're a 3-loss
team.
And once again, like, the other side of that exact conversation is you have BYU who lost 2 games
to the
same team.
Yeah.
Who, once again, to be determined where they fall at the end of the national, at the end of the national schedule, what it looks like. And that's the hard thing too is I don't know what the right answer is. That conversation is
my favorite.
So complicated.
Yeah.
But we do, I feel like, have to find a way to allow teams to take those chances and play those teams and not wreck their season for losing those teams. So, and whether that is like making like not extending the schedule, but finding a way, like, for example, those out of conference games, like, what if those out of conference games are like bowl games in a sense, played out of conference, where it's like of no consequence to the team's overall record as far as like how they're viewed in the college football playoff and how they're evaluated. But like, you still get to play these games, and like, I mean, shit, the way college football, the way the other bowl games are falling off and they're not of importance, it's like, bring the money into it, bring the importance, bring the views into those games without affecting those teams as much.
What people forget is that this is college football. It's not the NFL. It's not the XFL. It's not high school. It's college football. And so, like, there are consequences to your schedule, to your losses. And, unfortunately,
from a monetary standpoint,
Yeah, well, and that's where it comes down to. It all comes down. It all comes down to money.
The plus is in
And
the system.
yeah, and obviously, if a BYU or a UT or Notre Dame were to play Oregon instead of JMU, obviously there's a lot more money at stake. But also, like, you can't not reward the teams that won their conference. Like, I know the ACC didn't have their champion in because it was Duke who won the ACC championship. But also, you saw Miami, who finished third, beat a team who dominated the SEC.
Right.
So, like,
once again, that comes back into respective conferences, which unfortunately, no matter how you slice it, cut it, and change it, every year, from year to year, there is going to be a change in respective conferences. Which, once again, Big 12, hopefully we're moving into an era where there is more respect for a conference. For a long time, we've lost that respect, and I feel like we're gaining it back. But then you talk about like a BYU. Well, they lose 2 games to the conference champions.
There's no continuity.
In a new year, but like next year, things play out the way we hope they do. Then all of a sudden next year, BYU loses 2 games to us, and it's like, oh no, they're definitely in.
Right.
So
and that's why, like, the Pop-Tart Bowl, like, could have been a way for BYU.
The Pop-Tart Bowl is lit.
The Pop-Tart Bowl is the best bowl of all time.
And then you make sure the Pop-Tart Bowl keeps it. Real quick, just to tie up the Oregon-Texas Tech matchup, I just wanted to look at the betting odds real quick. So the spread on this is Oregon by 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Which is wild.
It is wild.
I think it flips to Tech before the game, before kickoff.
Very possible. The money line is negative 118 in Oregon's favor.
I think it's
and then the total over-under is 52.5 right now.
I think it's Oregon minus 118. I want to say Tech's like 105, minus 105.
102 currently.
Yeah, so it's like it's basically a coin flip
right there. Yeah,
but I think people are going to hammer that 1.5 point, and I think it's going to flip to Tech, like maybe Tech favored 1.5 or Tech favored by 3,
right?
Depending on how much
stay tied, but
it's gonna. I think it's gonna flip
for sure. But yeah, no, I definitely do think this is it's gonna be it. I feel stupid saying this because obviously it's one or the other, but it is either going to be a bloody brawl to the end, or it's going to be one of those things where once again we kick the doors off the hinges and we show the rest of the country, like, hey, say what you want to, like, we're real and we're here.
What I want is a Jacob Rodriguez touchdown.
Yeah.
If I can get a Jacob Rodriguez touchdown in a CFP game, so everyone can be like, ah, shit, we fucked up. Like, I think that would be. Also, I'm just to let you guys know, I'm shaving my beard for the college football playoff, and I'm rocking a mustache until we win the championship.
If Texas Tech wins national championship, I'll shave my head and my beard. I'll shave everything.
Damn. I will not.
Rob has 3 kids that will freak out if he shaved his beard.
I love you, Tech. I love you, Jacob Rodriguez, but no matter what you do, the beard stays.
Did you know that Jacob Rodriguez's wife flies Black Hawk helicopters?
I had absolutely no idea.
Well, this is actually the first time that information's been mentioned.
Yeah. It's been mainly kept out of the press.
She's badass, dude. More badass than him.
But unsarcastically,
yeah, she is a badass.
You're awesome. Thanks for your service. You're
Shout out to
amazing.
Emma.
But once again, you and I have had this conversation before. Like, I'm sure Emma is like, okay, like, this is, like, first of all, the nature of what she is, like, an absolute professional,
right,
and a military woman. Like, she does not want the praise. She does not want the flowers. Like, she's like, I'm sure she's more than anybody. Like, can we please shift the attention back to my husband, who has had one of the most crazy
historic
college football trajectories of all time.
Right.
From a fucking quarterback at Virginia to sleeping on the floor of his brother's room, which once again the media's never mentioned before. We never did that. to fully buying into knowing McGuire and like liking the coach so much that like when the rug was pulled to Virginia, he's like, well, I want to go there. I don't care if I don't have a spot. I want to be there.
Yeah.
To being like, I've never played this position before, but sure, I'll do it.
And
to being the most celebrated linebacker in the country.
And we talked about this. Because he played quarterback.
Yeah.
He knows, like, when they're saying this or they're doing this, I'm gonna have some guy run across my face. I'm gonna jump that. Or I can tell corner guy, hey, watch out for this, or hey, watch out for that, or hey, we're gonna blitz because they're gonna run up. Like it's so cool to see him make those adjustments in real time. And then also shout out to Emma Rodriguez because her back and her shoulders.
Bro, she's jacked.
God damn. Like
jacked.
Oh my God.
We love Jacob Rodriguez, but they're gonna have a child in 20 years that's gonna be like, oh hey, his father, Jacob Rodriguez. I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
Hopefully that child is a Red Raider.
Which real quick, it's like
But
of all the praise and everything that Jacob Rodriguez has gotten, and like all of the spotlight he's gotten, like that college game day before the Big 12 championship, him throwing the ball on the field and going
Yeah,
and throwing
right.
it at. Which, real quick, shout out to our former fraternity brothers, Dylan Neal and Cameron Harris. Jacob Rodriguez rocking a classic cowboy hat
for sure.
on, like I was just like, that is so
Yeah.
freaking
Absolutely.
cool. Like it's awesome. But
For sure, but yeah, we gotta keep the podcast moving just a little bit because it'll be 3 hours if we keep yapping.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot to like about Tech football. Just a lot of great stuff happening right there.
Well,
But we do have some.
Yeah, since we're here and we got Santas and Christmas spirit, and you're rocking the flannel, and we're all having a good time here, so I figured let's do a blind ranking.
Let's do it. Give me this Ray Charles ranking.
Actually, I'm gonna do 2 blind rankings. So we can do either I can give you one, and I can give you one, or we can do 2 together.
I think let's work together.
Work together. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just pull up.
I don't like to feel my way through the dark alone.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season. It's a time of togetherness.
Take
Yes.
that how you will.
All right. So we're gonna do blind rank these top Christmas movies.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
All right. So let's go ahead and see kind of where you guys fall with this.
Okay.
First one, It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, so I'll let me start with this one just because like this is my mom's favorite Christmas movie, and this was my every single year growing up had to watch this while decorating the tree. This
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
It's classic.
this was the staple of the Eller household when it came to doing this. Now that being said, I had it shoved down my throat for so long that I'm trying to remove myself from that because my knee-jerk reaction is like leave it off or make it fun. But the essence of that movie is so driven to the Christmas spirit and what is important about Christmas. And I feel like of all time,
I'm gonna go-
I hate blind ranking.
I
Where do you have it?
Yeah, I think it's enough of a classic to where I'm down to put it at 2 or 3.
Okay, 3 was where my head.
3. Let's go 3.
Let's go 3.
All right.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
All right. It's a Wonderful Life at 3.
Wonderful Life of 3. That's solid. Elf.
Oof. Elf's a classic, but I also do have problems with Elf. Like Elf isn't as
Like the syrup and the spaghetti?
yes, but like just as a film in general, I think it kind of breaks some natural comedy rules, and I think it does it in a very likable way, but also just as a story, it kind of irks me a little bit. But it's a very rewatchable movie. I don't know. I'm leaning towards putting it at 4.
4 is what I was thinking, and partially because I'm like in my head I'm trying to project movies potentially on this list, and I don't know what they are. But for me, I have a hard time putting it at 2. I can't put it at 1. It's not my favorite Christmas movie.
No.
So I have a hard time putting it at 2. I feel like 4 is safe.
Yeah, we'll go Elf at 4.
Elf at 4.
Well,
it
I like the movie.
It feels
I like the
sacrilegious
movie.
because Will Ferrell is
All right, so
best, but-
so It's a Wonderful Life at 3, Elf at 4,
Elf at 4. Yeah.
Jingle All the Way.
Okay, this is what I was hoping. This is gonna be on this list.
See-
Jingle All the Way is such an awesome,
Mantle!
underrated Christmas film.
Jamie!
Oh my! Like, see, I'm about to contradict myself entirely because
The argument you were making against Elf, I didn't disagree with, but I was literally the whole time you're having this conversation, I was putting it in the sense of Jingle All the Way. And for me, for the same things we just kind of shit on Elf for, one of the reasons I love it, because for me, Jingle All the Way is the juxtaposition of what is important and what do we get stuck on.
Yeah.
And for me, like that's what makes that movie so great. Is you get stuck in the whole like, what is the true meaning of Christmas, but also to what is the bullshit that we get caught up in every year. That's what makes that movie. The
Yeah.
Turbo Man doll, the like godforsaken hunt
Sinbad.
as a parent of like, what is that hot toy? And once your kid, it's like when you don't have kids, you're like, I'll never fall for that bullshit. But when your kid looks at you with big doe eyes and is like, I really want blank.
oh
And
yeah,
you're like, I am going to move fucking heaven and earth.
I'm about
I'm
to
gonna-
deck your halls, bub.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to commit assault to make sure my child has that thing, even though that's not what's important. But those two things for me, like, I feel like
Give me a
Jingle All
number.
the Way is
I-
2. Maybe even
I-
1. I just don't
I'm-
know.
I'm
like,
gonna put it at 1.
I'm completely okay with that. I love it.
Only because
I love it.
this movie, like, and honestly, I contradicted myself because
Sure.
the same exact reasons I was shitting on Elf, you could say that about this, but in its base, like, this is a story that shouldn't work. Like, it's a story about a bad father making a purchase.
Yeah.
Like, that's what...
Forgetting to make a purchase.
Forgetting to make a purchase.
Right.
And honestly, going through all of these stages where he just proves he's a bad dad.
And remember, you're my favorite customer.
Right. Exactly. And so it's... I look at it, and there's so much to not like about this movie that I end up liking it more.
Yeah.
Because there's elements like, Phil Hartman trying to bang his wife. It's like, and there's no redeeming quality about that at all. It's just,
wife's cooking.
She's not even into it. It's just, he's literally just trying to bang his wife, and that's a concept within the movie. Like I said, it shouldn't work, but somehow it does.
It's also the redemption arc and the trial and the effort, and it's almost like Iliad and the Odyssey, like links that he goes to make it right. That it's just like, you end up at the end of the movie, you're like, damn. Like,
and the kid doesn't even want the doll. He says, I got the real Turbo Man at home.
Also,
right.
Jamie, low-key.
I'm pissed off if you don't want that fucking toy that I almost died for.
But also, low-key, like, how dumb is that kid? Like, I knew that was your dad, and all he had was a fucking helmet.
Right.
Like,
your dad is 6'3", jacked and Austrian.
I am like
you really didn't know that voice was your father?
But like you look at us, as a society being completely okay with like Clark Kent taking his glasses off, being super
exactly.
black.
Yeah, exactly.
It also kind of fits that narrative too.
We were never okay with that, but we accepted
What
it.
was the pink sidekick's name?
Booster.
It's like, no one wants Booster. All right, Jingle All the Way at 1. Honestly, that's my favorite Christmas movie of all the time. It's my favorite Christmas movie.
I think I'm gonna go home tonight and watch it.
And honestly, the title has nothing
to do with it.
Nothing. It was like they were just like, you know what? What's one
that was
random
90s
thing?
movie title.
It could be, Dashing Through the Snow. No. Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way, sure.
It's like, what's it about? A Doberman doll. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
But also,
they were just like,
one thing.
Sounds great.
One thing people forget, it was during a time where Power Ranger dolls were the new hotness, and everyone, and and for me, I know for a fact, I was like, Mom, Dad, I want the White Ranger doll, or I want the Buzz Lightyear doll, and it was very relatable to parents.
My mom tells the story all the time, but when my dad was still alive, the time of that year leading up to that being the insane hype was at 95.
Somewhere, yeah.
It's called 95. Me going to Toys R Us, God, greatest place on earth, like in like the summer and stuff, and be like, oh look, like Power, like me, like pointing, I want this, and be like, oh okay, and then getting to that time of year, it wasn't like my dad lived the Arnold Schwarzenegger reality. My dad went to Toys R Us's all over the city. Yeah. My dad had his secretary at work call Toys R Us's and figure out the shipping schedule at Toys R Us stores. Yeah, so he would leave his office to go get in line with all of these moms from across San Antonio and find it and like make a way to make it happen. Like it just hit so close to home.
Yeah, your dad probably ran into my mom in those stores for sure.
Yeah, so it's just like one of those things that hits them.
So Wonderful Life 3, Elf's at 4, Jingle All the Way is 1. All right, so next one, Home Alone.
There's got to be 2.
It has to be 2?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Home Alone. Just kidding.
Well, even if it's Home Alone 2, I'm still putting it at 2.
Yeah.
I mean, John Williams did the music for both of them.
That's true.
Like it almost like you say Home Alone, like it's almost like you do a heavyweight matchup between Jingle All the Way and Home Alone, and you almost feel weird putting it at 2. But I'm completely.
Well, Home Alone is a better movie, but it's our blind ranking.
Yeah.
So it's what we prefer.
So that leaves you with 5. Okay. And it's Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh shit, that's a fantastic film. Fuck.
I felt so good about this list until you just said that.
Right. That makes
But honestly,
it's a blind ranking.
It's blind ranking.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
So outside of if I could get in a time machine, knowing what I know now, and go back, I would probably flip It's a Wonderful Life and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But I know we can't do that.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm okay with it. Just know that Jim, I'm very sorry.
It's a
Thank
Wonderful
you.
Life always cracks me up when I watch it because it has like such like
It's so outdated.
old school and it has all of like the old school filmmaking techniques.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
like the shot where you see him like running down the street, like
Yes.
you just see this beautiful moonlight just
Yeah.
following him the whole way. I'm like, you never see that in a movie nowadays because people prioritize realism.
Right.
They know that this really soft,
it's
beautiful
a-
moonlight
it's
isn't
a-
going to be
it's a-
traveling with you the
Yeah.
entire time.
It's
so
a time
he's-
capsule to where like film was like at the time.
Yeah.
Right, like he would be moving like past a tree, you'd feel a shadow.
And
so
then
it'd be
wardrobe and all the stuff that goes into that,
Yeah.
and the makeup, and like, yeah, I mean, dude, that film was awesome.
No.
And what's funny is like my mom does not like Jim Carrey. Like she just does not like Jim Carrey.
Really?
But she loved The Grinch because she was like, I can't tell it's him.
yeah.
And
There you
so
go.
I was like, damn, that's pretty crazy.
Well,
Shout out to the makeup department.
Also, too, like James Stewart was just such a dog, like like the main character
Yeah.
in It's Wonderful Life. Like just such a great actor, such a classical actor. Like what we look at now would be like what we would call like over performance, but like back then that was the standard, and he was just so good at that. And like the whole story, you get into it, and it is more of a feels than anything else. Like the purchasing of Christmas is completely removed from that movie. Like every other movie on that list we just ranked, like that is kind of the core concept behind it.
Yeah.
It's like getting past that, but that was back in a simpler time when it was still like the spirit of Christmas is like what came first.
It's a
Right.
wonderful life. Oh.
Absolutely.
That's not how the song goes.
That's- That was a great blind ranking.
Yeah, but now, since we got our Christmas movies knocked out, we gotta do songs.
Let's do it.
We gotta do songs.
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna start with one of my personal favorites. I'm a little biased, but we're gonna go ahead and do this. Feliz Navidad.
It's
I'll go Feliz Navidad. Definitely above average. It definitely gets me hype.
The Navi.
Feliz Navi?
Felix Navidad.
Should we just go with a nice even keel 3? It feels like a 3 to me.
I think it's fair.
All right,
We go 3?
yeah, we'll go 3 Feliz Navidad.
All right, Jingle Bell Rock.
I do love me some Jingle Bell Rock. It's just like as corny and cheesy as it can kind of be. It just flips that switch.
It does.
It's catchy.
It does. I mean,
It is.
I'm feeling better about that than Feliz Navidad.
I would agree.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's good enough to take that top spot. You thinking Jingle Bells or Jingle Bell Rock
I
2?
think it's definitely in the conversation for number one, but once again, just off of the spirit of blind ranking, I feel like we got to put it in two. Just we don't know what's in the pipeline.
Yeah. All right. 2 with
I
Jingle
just
Bell
don't
Rock.
want to leave the door open for the Ice Queen.
I don't. Yeah.
So-
well, we're gonna go Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Had a very shiny nose.
I'm down to go with that at 5.
I am too, because that's not even my favorite reindeer song.
Right.
My favorite reindeer
Grandma?
song I know is No.
Oh.
Close. It's not on this list, and I will, just for the sake of a maybe, I will wait to reveal that until the list is complete.
Right. It's overtly sexual.
Yes, yes it is. It's like Drake's song. Just kidding. Okay,
Jesus Christ.
next song.
Does Drake have Christmas songs?
That I'm aware
I
of.
hope not. Do Canadians celebrate Christmas?
I don't know.
Cam?
I think so.
You're our resident Canadian expert.
I'm like, wait, why are we looking?
You're wearing
flannel.
Yeah, you're wearing flannel. You know Canadian stuff.
That's fair, eh?
All right. Rocking around the Christmas tree. Rocking around the Christmas tree.
fucking
Ding,
banger.
come back to me.
It is a banger, but I can't put this at 1. I can't put this at 1.
So 4.
4. I mean,
It has to
and
be
then
4.
whatever last song we get is our 1.
God, I swear to God, if you say the song, I think
You're gonna do us dirty. I already know it. So
I'm not going to do you dirty.
all right,
I'm going to keep this a buck. Try to,
all right.
at least.
Well, then what did we end up with as our number 1?
Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney.
God damn it!
It's not a bad song.
It's not bad,
It's
but
not my number 1.
What's your number 1 Christmas song?
Of now that okay, it's not my number. It is objectively one of my favorites, but it's not my number 1. It didn't belong on this list. But Leroy the Redneck Reindeer. You ever heard this?
I've not heard this one. Do you know this one?
no.
Well, when we're done and we're off air, play it for you. But
No, play it on YouTube so we get demonetized.
Well, no, go ahead and sing it.
It's like taking Rudolph the underdog story and then like
It's about
taking
Prancer?
it up another notch.
Oh.
It's like the underdog of the underdog. Like Rudolph can't do it. Rudolph's proven he's the guy. He's out. Leroy's got to step up, and everybody's like, "What is this redneck reindeer doing?" And like Leroy saves the day.
I mean,
Great song. It's got the country vibe. Once again, if you don't like country music, you're like, I don't like this fucking
Yeah.
song. But like, I grew up listening to it. It's a great song. But yeah, doesn't belong on this list. But for me, subjectively, I enjoy it.
I can dig it.
I'm a big fan of Silverado Bells.
Silverado
It's
Bells.
Christmas time
in a
Chevy.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
No, but I would say of the list locked where it is, I do wish that we would have slid Jingle Bell Rock into prom.
Let It Snow is also a banger.
Yeah.
Let It Snow is a banger.
Yeah.
What's that? What's the one HEB commercial that they play and they're like, "Was it Texas Christmas to me?" That's a good song.
Oh, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about.
But I guess, do you have a favorite Christmas song?
To be honest, I don't have a particularly favorite Christmas song just because I work on probably 2 at least Christmas
that
movies
makes
a
sense.
year.
Yeah.
And I get thrown off by Christmas music. Like all October, I was Christmas music. And even Christmas music that wasn't real Christmas music. It was like Christmas songs that were invented within the show.
Oh.
And then, so like I have Christmas songs that people don't know stuck in my head
Yeah.
from something like from some fictitious movie. And it's, it's, so I honestly, I get kind of angered by Christmas music.
I get it.
To be really honest.
For me, like I was a very bah humbug about Christmas until we had our first kid, and then
Yeah.
it was like it started
Right.
reopening Christmas to me, and like it kind of changed the value and the importance. I was like,
I
don't
love
wanna-
Christmas.
I don't wanna
It's just the
listen-
music.
Well, for me, I mean, I got to the point where I don't want to listen to Christmas music. I don't whatever. Like, I'll show up on Christmas Day, like cool, like family, all right, like happy. But like, I was just no spirit. There's no build up. There's
Yeah.
no all of this. And so like, it's changed. So now I've started listening into it again. But yeah, I feel the same way. Or like, baby, it's cold outside.
Right.
It's
Dude,
a
have you
because,
seen
like,
the-
now
have you
it's,
seen
like,
the
kind of
PC?
creepy and people get a little too.
Have you seen the PC version of that song?
Oh, baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah, dude. He's like, "Baby, it's cold outside. We should probably get a blanket."
Yeah, you should probably think about layering next time.
Hey, like no means no. Like I'm
Right.
going to leave now. Like.
Right. Those creepy, outdated songs.
The Me Too movement really shit all over Baby It's Cold Outside, and it's a good song.
It's a good song.
It's flirty. They're following around. They both want it.
It's like,
they
hey,
both
Well,
want
okay, and
It's
just
like-
like that, we got demonetized.
It's like, I'm starting to feel funny because I spiked your drink.
and talk about funny Key and Peele sketches.
Yeah,
that
that one's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The Baby
no.
It's Cold Outside sketch. Oh, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
But that was a fantastic blind ranking.
it. was awesome.
I do have one Christmas question. If there was one aspect of the Christmas holidays that you could do without, what would it be?
Family? No.
Hot take.
No. Oh, man. Honestly, for me personally, just traveling. Traveling is such an ass whip. Like, just because one,
I can
we're
understand that.
we're coming we're coming from DFW to San Antonio, and it's like, all right, what do we pack? We got our presents. We have to do this. We have to do that, and then like obviously all of our like winter stuff in South Texas is like not a thing. Like you're wearing shorts,
Right.
and we're what, like 3 days away from Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So like what do I pack? How do I bring it? Did we bring jackets? Do we do this? Do we do that? And then on top of that, like not only do we have to see this family, we got to see this family, we got to do this. Like there's just a lot of travel involved, and it becomes overwhelming. And what you were saying earlier, it really does take away that
Yeah.
Christmas spirit
It does.
until you finally get settled in. And even when you get settled in, it's like, all right, what do we got doing today? What do we got doing tomorrow? The busyness and the travel for
And
me.
for me, it's like my in-laws are 200 yards behind
Right.
me. My parents
Right.
are 10 minutes away. So
Right.
it's like, that is a move that I will say for me, like that is always a big
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
People like the small talk. Oh, you for Christmas? Oh, thank God I don't have to travel. Like that's
Right.
always my thing. Like I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That is nice. So I can imagine like,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Cam's like my kids.
3 of them. Ooh man. I think for me, and it's something that can't be removed from it, but for me personally, it's like Christmas is always a really rough time because like Christmas was my dad's favorite holiday, like hands down. So it's like that reflective time of year, like where you get to like I think about him a lot. Like from like my mom, it's like every year it's like my mom goes through this weird period. Sorry, mom, I know you're probably gonna watch this, but like where like I have to adjust. Like my mom's kind of acting crazy. Like what's going on? And then I remember like that was her person. This was his holiday, and it's like this adjustment. So it's like I guess the melancholy. There's a melancholy undertone in the Miller household when it comes to Christmas. Yeah. So it's like that's a hard part.
And I can relate to that too because my grandfather's birthday was on Christmas Day.
Right.
He would have been 100 this year. And then we just lost my grandmother and my uncle. So it's like, so for my mom, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. She's trying to stay busy in order to kind of like, let's...
Focusing on like all those things that we want to strip away. Sometimes people actually pile it on because they're trying to just stay focused on the holiday and not let that...
Right.
So, I mean, it's a tough time.
And for all of us, like we've all lost people that's important. And it is. So it's like, emotionally, like you have to go through it, and like God bless him. Like for me, like Rocky, like I was like, I just lost my dog, and like going through pictures of him, like some of my favorite pictures of him is this tiny little puppy wearing a Santa hat, and just like remembering like all those things, and it's like we love them and we want to remember them, and it's like just the emotional pain, like sometimes like you can remove that. Like,
oh yeah,
what's yours, Rob?
Probably Christmas caroling.
Fuck yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, do you have people like not like, excuse me?
I mean, I live in an apartment complex still, so like...
Do they carol?
I've had people carol before. It's like singing just around the complex, like various
singing around the apartment complex.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's weird stuff.
I don't have.
But like, also, it wasn't just that. It's also, I mean, I feel like I'm jaded from a lot of the movies and stuff I worked on.
If you're humming Christmas carols like around Halloween, like,
and maybe it's just because I live like in BFE, so I just don't experience it. So I think it's dying off. But I feel like generally, like I see less and less of it. But once again, that's probably just because of where I live. Like I just don't experience it. But I agree, like it's annoying.
You have caroler, like I've never had a caroler knock on my door and be like, "Can we sing you some songs?"
Well,
caroler knocks on my door.
They would do it in more like public spaces.
Oh, and just
like and more like, so like and who the fuck has had figgy pudding? Do you know what figgy pudding is? I don't think anyone.
I think I looked it up one time and I don't remember what it is.
It sounds like the most British dessert. Like, can you give me a blood pie and some figgy pudding? I'll take a bag of bones and some beans for my breakfast with figgy pudding, please.
I completely.
Beans and toast.
Right.
So sorry to our English fans. I
don't know.
If I hear caroling on my doorstep, it's also going to be accompanied by the sound of a millimeter.
No, excuse me. Can you get off my property?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I mean, you picture like the movie caroling where people sound good, but it's like sometimes it's just kids yelling Christmas songs at you, and it's like, y'all suck. Get out of here.
My favorite current, I guess, holiday trend on social media is the people that are like, "Oh, we're caroling in Houston," like they just like start singing like "Mo City Dawn."
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
like
it's like you're gonna pull up and hit me with some City of Syrup.
Yeah,
I'll welcome it. Yeah, so
it's like if we do it here in San Antonio, it's like, hey, can we sing you some songs? Like San Antonio on the map, no need for introduction.
You're like, I'd rather bang screw.
Like Elf pouring scissor on his spaghetti.
Right. Boom. That's what I want to see. But guys, that's been a fantastic episode. We've talked some Spurs basketball. We've talked Texas Tech football and basketball. Have dove into a lot of what makes the holiday season so special. I think we've got some dunks we've got to get to.
Yeah.
And then we'll get the hell up out of here. Do you have a dunk that you want to get to, AJ?
Yeah, I want to dunk on everyone who's saying that Tulane and JMU did not belong in the CFP. I'm sorry. Like, they earned their spot. There's 12 spots. You play the season to go into the postseason, and until they fix the CFP as a whole, those teams deserve to be in. And if you disagree, that's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion, but you're wrong. Like, at the end of the day, you have to reward the teams that play what they're given. And, of course, JMU, Tulane, they're not big schools, they're not big programs, but they play their ass off to earn that spot, and they deserve it. And that's my dunk is to those people.
In JMU, like I will say, like go Google how many NFL players come out of JMU. You're gonna actually be very surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Like the list is longer than you would imagine. So I do, and that'd be a whole other 30-minute
Right,
side
for sure.
off. But like in the spirit of it, especially coming down to the point of with the way the rules are right now.
Yeah.
I
like I feel if you win your conference, you should just automatically get into the CFP. Yeah. Even if you're a Duke that went 7-5, I don't care, because at the end of the day, like, you won your conference, and you should be rewarded for winning your conference, and then have the chips fall as they will after that.
Yeah.
But if you win your conference, you should be rewarded for that. If not, what are you playing for? And if you're not going to play in the postseason and you win your conference and then they go, hey, congratulations, here's a cookie, then, like, that's why the bowls are, like, not important anymore. And that's why, like, all this other stuff comes through. So, like, granted, we're going to get blowouts. Blowouts happen all the time. Like, look at last year's CFP. And those were big schools. So, regardless, like, if you want to fix the college program as a whole in the CFP, figure it out another way. Because as it is right now, if you want the 12 best teams, and make it the 12 best teams and just say at 13 we're done. But if you're going to include conference champions, include the conference champions.
Right. I think that's where and once again, I'm a football freak, so I don't care what people say, but like I think that's where the expansion conversation is going to come into effect. But it's like with a traditional football playoff system, you're always going to have teams that, like, deserve to be there but probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Playing against teams who have, like, been bloodied and beaten all year, but do deserve to be there.
Yeah,
it's like
it's always going to be kick the can. So, like, when we had 4 teams, it was 5 and 6 that were playing.
Right.
When there was 8 teams, it was 9 and 10 that
were
always
going.
And now there's 12, it's 13, 14. So, like, when you kick the can down, no matter what, it's going to be messy. But 100%. At the end of the day, like, dude, sorry, like, 100%. Win your conference, win your games, make it to the playoff, and call it a day.
Yeah.
You have it done.
If you need some time to think about a dunk, I can just go ahead and unleash my dunk real quick.
Go ahead and unleash your wrath, because mine. I'm.
Go ahead and cook that dunk for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and do a follow-up dunk and re-dunk again on Wizards fans for booing Kelly Olynyk last night.
Yeah, what the hell?
I mean, first of all, it's such a stupid reason to boo somebody because of a flagrant 2 foul that happened years ago, and Kelly Olynyk isn't on the same team as he was when he committed that foul. Y'all don't have Kelly Oubre anymore. It was a Kelly on Kelly crime, and you're still booing Kelly Olynyk for it? It's like, I don't get what y'all are grasping to, Wizards fans. I know that
it does seem petty beyond petty.
Right, like, you don't have a lot to cheer for. You're the bottom feeder in already a shitty Eastern Conference, so it's like, I get it. You're kind of in the abyss in terms of success, but
they've become the time haters.
Right, it's like
time machine, go back and hate.
Right, it's like the only person that should still have beef with Kelly Olynyk is Kevin Love.
Yeah,
it's like
no, but like also like I didn't even know there was Wizards fans that even gave a shit.
Right, enough to boo somebody every single time you touch the ball.
Kelly Olynyk isn't a big enough name for you to, like, get butthurt about it.
Right. I literally had to look up why the fans were booing, and it, like, all stemmed back from a flagrant 2 foul multiple years ago, and it's like, holy shit, y'all have a different level of petty I didn't know. So Wizards fans, go dunk on yourself for that. Absolutely, but
solid. The wrath is vented. You know, I'm having a hard time finding something to be wrathful about.
It's okay.
So I almost want to just give trying to decide if I just find something to be angry about or if I just give a positive shout out. I'll find something to be angry about. I'm not gonna mess up the vibes here. Here's one I feel like is not talked about enough. I'm gonna just dunk on the media / LeBron James, because I am so sick and tired of this has just been time immemorial. Every little thing he does being clipped and pushed, and I understand he's nearing the end of his career. But damn it, I'm just so sick of it. And I'm so tired of him being memorialized and immortalized and shown to our kids and our young athletes as this is the pinnacle of the sport, when he is just such a whiny bitch. And I'm sorry. Like, he is absolutely amazing. He is incredible. But I am so tired of having arguments with middle schoolers about whether or not LeBron James is the greatest player of all time and getting into the minutia of him of, like, I don't care what record he breaks. Like, the way he goes about it and the way he shows himself as a player, like, that's not what is important. And we just continue to push it and push it and push it. And, like, we are the ones destroying what is important about sport by idolizing people like that. And so for me, I'm just tired of it. So I feel like this is a incredibly petty and hot take, but like I'm just sick of LeBron and I'm ready for him to go.
Well, I mean, I think it's what a lot of fans are feeling. It's like you can't have the next era of basketball be ushered in when you still have a figure like LeBron James existing from the old era. And yeah, it's almost feels like a Band-Aid that needs to be ripped off a little bit when we look at LeBron. I mean, and he's averaging like 16 points a game. Like he's not affecting the game like he once was. This really feels like the last year we're going to see LeBron.
Yeah.
So,
And somehow more, I feel like we're seeing more clips and more highlights than ever. It's like they're finding the one thing every game to push and put on front page.
It's like when he dunked.
And it is impressive. Like
it's like when he dunked on us. It's like, cool, you dunked on us, but like, I mean,
he get blocked the play before that or something like something else happened before that, and I'm like, that's bigger than the dunk, but whatever.
Yeah.
And once again, like I said, I feel incredibly petty because he is an incredibly good basketball player, and he's definitely in the conversation for greatest of all time. But
right.
Like, I don't like the way he went about it, and that's say whatever you want to. I just don't like it.
He is not the GOAT of the Baseline Bums podcast. No. We will say it like that.
That is Jonathan Simmons' spot.
Right, absolutely. But guys, if you're still here listening to all these wonderful dunks and you've listened to all of this wonderful Spurs and Texas Tech football basketball chat, we appreciate you. We not only love you, but we love you hard over here. All of this is brought to you by Love You Hard TV. We love being here talking Spurs basketball, talking NBA, college football stuff, all that stuff, but it wouldn't be the same if you weren't here. So we appreciate you, whether you're watching clips on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you're consuming the podcast on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're watching it, we really appreciate you because you make this community. You make talking Spurs basketball more enjoyable. So thank you for being here. Hope you and your family has a happy holidays. But we're going to end this episode the same way we end all of the episodes. And that's with a Go Spurs, a Go!